Good morning. Today is leg day. After watching and editing some of the previous vlogs, I guess, I noticed that I say a lot, so I'm going to consciously not say that. And I also did not do a morning walk today because the first part of the leg day is outdoors, being the warm-up, and then I had sprints, so that was 5x40 meters, and I also had hops, and most of that I do outside, so bada bing, morning exposure to sunlight. So as we are approaching New Year's resolution time, a lot of people's goals is to, get more fit or try to exercise more or lose weight. And so I'm gonna be talking about my experience with both losing and gaining weight, because since 2020 and the beginning of the pandemic, I have both gained around 25 to 30 pounds as well as lost 25 to 30 pounds in that 2-year span. So I've tried a lot of different things to try and both gain weight and lose weight. So I will kind of just tell you some of the things that I tried, some of the things that worked, and how that is different for everyone essentially. All right, so at the beginning of 2020, I was jumping a lot, like 2, sometimes 3 times a week, and getting really close to dunking. And then towards like February, March, I was planning to kind of transition off the high volume jumping days and go into strength training. And typically when that happens, a lot of people will try to put on weight because it's very hard to get stronger without putting on, of course, both fat and muscle. So at that point I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to transition into strength training, up my pure strength, and then transition back into jump training again after a strength phase. This happened to coincide with the beginning of the pandemic. As far as like tracking my calories in, I didn't really track too much. I just ate without regard for human life.
Posey will defend. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
I just ate as I normally would, plus a little bit more in order for me to put on some more mass, and put on mass I did. I think around the start of that, I was around 160 pounds. And then at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, moved back home to the Bay, and at my peak weight, I weighed a whopping 182 pounds in January of 2021. That's also when I hit 1,000 pound club. So during that 9-month span, I put on about 20-ish pounds, 25 pounds, somewhere in that ballpark. And I was like really strong, the strongest I've ever been, but I definitely felt a little bit slower. So in that regard, my goal was to gain weight. I did gain weight and strength, and then that kind of changed. After I hit 1,000 pound club, I was like, okay, I kind of want to start jumping again, and back down I tried to go. Decided to join us. Okay, like I said, beginning of 2021, peak 182 pounds at 5'6". Isn't the greatest, but that's where I ended. And then I started playing around with weightlifting, so Olympic weightlifting, snatches, cleans, and then back into jump training, and also trying to actively lose weight, but I didn't really have a goal in mind at the beginning of 2021. Just, shed some of the fat and hopefully retain most of my muscle. And even though for the gaining weight portion, I didn't really track my macros, I still think, depending on your goals, MyFitnessPal is a great resource to be able to know at least a ballpark general amount of what your calories in are, and then if you have some sort of fitness tracker, Apple Watch, Fitbit, Garmin, Whoop, whatever it may be. Of course, it's not gonna be the most accurate, but at least you'll have a ballpark amount, which you can use then over time to relatively track, you know, how many calories I'm consuming and how many calories I am burning. So fast forwarding from January 2021 to April of 2022, which is about a year and a half, I went from 182 pounds to 153 pounds. And the significance of April is that's when I got married. So I didn't really start kicking it into high gear as far as weight loss until the end of 2021. So around September, October timeframe was when like, okay, I need to start doing things to actively try to lose weight and actually start tracking my macros, as well as doing certain things throughout the day to help facilitate weight loss, specifically burning fat. All right, so I know I've been referencing Huberman Lab podcast a lot, but I think it's because it provides a lot of good information and there's a lot of actionable information. So some of the things that I did last year to lose weight was intermittent fast. So I tried to subscribe to an 8-hour feeding window, which lasted from generally 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. I also started drinking yerba mate tea. I also started doing cold showers, and a combination of that, along with intermittent fasting, I was also resistance training fasted in the morning with caffeine. So that helped a lot too. And those are some of the things that I tried to do to help expedite losing weight, as well as in general up my protein intake. But I will leave that episode somewhere here where he talks about pretty much how to burn / lose fat. And that's how I went from 182 pounds to 153 pounds over the course of a year and a half. My advice is everybody's goals are different, whether you're doing it for an event like a wedding, or you're just doing it for aesthetics or general health benefits. You know, that reason is going to vary from person to person. Recommendation is, you know, do it in a healthy way where you're not trying to do some fad diet or lose a lot of pounds really fast. The general rule of thumb is to try to lose 1 pound a week, which is about a deficit of 3,500 calories, which breaks down to about 500 calorie deficit every day. Of course, you don't have to follow that to the T, but if you do, then you should be able to lose 1 pound a week and hopefully get to your goals, whatever those goals may be. And if you're trying to gain weight, then you need to eat a surplus of 500 calories a day, which is in general a little bit easier for most people. But hopefully some of those tidbits, as well as that full-length podcast episode, will be a little bit helpful, because I know a lot of people have the general goal of losing weight or getting more fit for the new year. So also, if you're interested in some new fitness gear, shout out 10,000. I'll leave the code somewhere down there. But I think that's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna finish off my leg day, still have some calf raises and dorsiflexion to do. I haven't really been including my full workout as far as like reps, sets, what weight I'm doing it at all in the video or in the description, but if you're interested, I can start leaving that in the description for those of you who want to maybe follow it. But that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.